CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Evan Kenny.
Their city councils will understand that bike lanes should not take over driving lanes.
Bike lane debate. The transportation minister at odds with mayors. Good evening. A court in Ontario has ruled legislation giving the province the power to remove certain bike lanes there is unconstitutional. That ruling isn't stopping Alberta from meddling in bike lane decisions in its mayor's cities. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, the transportation minister wants to make sure cars are the priority.
This notice on an apartment building warns tenants bike lane construction is coming to 113 Street, part of about 40 new kilometers of bike infrastructure being built this year and last. A city spokesperson tells CTV the expansion of the active transportation network will not only support Edmontonians today, but will continue to support generations to come. The 113 Street project seemingly represents the kind of bike lanes the province doesn't like.
We hope that both Edmonton and Calgary, their city councils, will understand that bike lanes should not take over driving lanes.
Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen met with Calgary Mayor Jody Gondek today. In recent months, Dreeshen has suggested the province could intervene in municipal bike lane projects it takes issue with, possibly through legislation.
Obviously, we don't want to have to go down that route, but we'll see if we have to. But right now, we're having these conversations with both Edmonton and Calgary and identifying bike lanes that obviously don't make sense.
If a bike lane is causing any concerns with congestion or parking, our traffic team is open to reviewing and making any necessary changes.
The Ontario government recently brought in legislation giving it the power to remove bike lanes deemed to contribute to gridlock in Toronto. A court has ruled that legislation unconstitutional. In his decision, Justice Paul Chabas says the evidence is clear that restoring lanes of motor vehicle traffic by removing the bike lanes or reconfiguring them so they are no longer physically separated from cars will lead to more accidents, injuries, and deaths.
It's my understanding that the Ford government's actually planning to appeal that decision.
The minister plans to meet with Edmonton City Council on the topic soon. Mayor Amarjeet Sohi says bike lanes offer a safe and sustainable travel option, one he supports. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A 14-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl are facing charges after rocks and bricks were thrown off a downtown pedestrian bridge onto cars below. At least one vehicle was hit. Police say the driver was not injured. Police are looking for anyone else who may have been struck. It happened last Friday in the area of Grierson Hill near the funicular pedestrian bridge between 3 to 4 p.m. In a statement to CTV, EPS says these were young people making a foolish, dangerous choice and not fully grasping the consequences of their actions, adding, "We're fortunate this didn't result in serious injuries or worse." In 2002, 75-year-old school bus driver Robert Stanley was killed when a boulder was dropped from an overpass onto his bus on the White Mud Drive. 2 teens pleaded guilty to manslaughter in his death. Police investigated several rock-throwing cases last year, including objects thrown from the 53rd Avenue overpass on the White Mud Freeway, hitting vehicles below. No one was seriously hurt. In Calgary, police arrested an 11-year-old boy accused of holding up a bus driver in an armed robbery. Police say just before midnight last night, the boy threatened the driver with a knife, demanding his phone. The driver was able to de-escalate the situation before the child ran off with some cash. Police say he joined a group of teens waiting outside the bus who also ran away. Investigators believe the group robbed a liquor store earlier in the night. Police say the 11-year-old has been released to his parents because children under 12 can't be charged under the Criminal Code of Canada. A new space is open at the Edmonton Airport to help survivors of human trafficking. Experts say this is one of the fastest growing crimes in Canada, and airports are a key location where victims may be moved through. CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports.
A calm, comforting space tucked away in an undisclosed location at the airport. Equipped with a bed, couch, bathroom, and kitchenette, it offers everything a person may need as they access help.
It takes an average of 7 times for a trafficking victim to have the courage to step up and ask for help. So when they do, we have to be ready.
Paul Brandt is best known for his country music hits. But in recent years, he's turned his attention to the issue of human trafficking. In 2017, he began championing an initiative called Not in My City, raising awareness and facilitating training on the signs of trafficking.
Now, over 20,000 people across the country have taken the training. A number of our partner airports, you can't get through security if you work at the airport unless you've taken the Not in My City training.
The training goes hand in hand with this new safe room. Airport staff can discreetly bring someone here to get help from agencies such as ACT, the Action Coalition on Human Trafficking Alberta, and police.
I think this is empowering people. This is ensuring that they know the signs to look for, they have the proper training, and they can step in and actually save a life. And that could be the difference.
At a partner airport in Calgary, at YYC, we started a safe room with the idea that maybe it would be helpful, but maybe this is going to be something that's more symbolic. We've used it so much, they're building a second.
The Edmonton airport also has signs indicating help is available. They include the yellow rose, a symbol of the Not in My City campaign.
Most trafficking victims don't even realize that's what's happening to them. And so a part of this, I would say, if you're in a position right now where there's force or fraud or coercion, you're being forced to do something you don't want to do, take a look at what we're doing through Not in My City. It might be a trafficking situation, and there are resources and there is hope.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Tomorrow is the last day to get a free COVID-19 vaccine in Alberta. The province is pausing the program to prepare for the fall rollout. It says a new formula will arrive by October, offering the best protection against the latest strain of the virus. Most Albertans will have to pay for the vaccine. The province hasn't said how much it will cost. You can start registering for your dose on Monday, August 11th. Edmonton Public Schools has named its new superintendent. Ron Thompson was introduced at today's school board meeting. He's been a part of Edmonton Public Schools for 25 years as a teacher, principal, and most recently as the assistant superintendent of schools. He says the number of students and spaces for them are two of the biggest issues he'll have to deal with this year. A potential teacher strike is also something he could be dealing with.
My first priority will be to familiarize myself with our contingency plan and work with our leadership and our team downtown here to ensure that we're ready for the new school year.
Last month, the Alberta Teachers Association released the results of a strike vote showing more than 94% of teachers were in favor of striking. Members of the Kingsway Legion have delayed a decision to determine the fate of its building following a special meeting last night. Earlier this month, the Legion's president said it's barely making ends meet. Members were asked whether they want to lease half the building to bring in more money, put the building up for sale to find a smaller, more affordable property, or keep the property as is. The Legion says the decision to table the motion was made in order to gather more information. That information is expected to be presented by the end of September. Edmonton's Heritage Festival is returning for the August long weekend. The festival showcases a wide range of foods and entertainment from all across the world. This year, there are 67 pavilions. New additions include Senegal and Somalia. Organizers say it's the world's largest three-day celebration of multiculturalism.
It's a festival that brings the world together. It brings the community together. It gives the community an opportunity to meet and engage with all of the cultures that make up Edmonton.
It's my first time here in Canada as well, and it's my first time here in this festival, and we are very excited about the coming up events.
The festival takes over the exhibition grounds and Borden Park Saturday through Monday. Organizers expect it to return to Horlack Park next year. Admission is free. Edmontonians got a show in the sky from the snowbirds late this afternoon. The Canadian team performed a non-aerobatic show above Louise McKinney Park around 5:30. The team captain said since there's no air show in Edmonton this year, the team wanted to take this opportunity to show its appreciation for the city. The Royal Alberta Museum says more than birds are flying through the skies of downtown Edmonton. Through the spring, the museum placed an ultrasonic microphone and bat detector on its roof to find out if there were bats in downtown Edmonton. The detector picked up 2 different species, silver-haired bats and...
I mean, I hope people would hope there's more bats in downtown Edmonton dealing with mosquitoes and dealing with other pests that also play their role in the ecosystem, but hopefully there's fewer of them. I wouldn't say we're going to be overrun with bats in downtown. It still doesn't meet a lot of the criteria that those animals need, but it's nice to know that we haven't completely destroyed the ecosystem.
He says while it's hard to tell exactly how many bats flew over the Ram, they had multiple detections over more than a month. By-election day in Battle River Crowfoot is approaching, one day after 10 of the more than 200 riding candidates took questions from constituents. Experts say the race could still go several ways. The outcome could determine the future of Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre's political career. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
Beautiful day. Thanks for coming out. Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre made a grand entrance in Camrose at the Battle River Crowfoot by-election forum. Many experts agree the race in the highly Conservative riding is Poilievre's to lose.
My Alberta values taught me about faith, family, and freedom, hard work, helping your neighbors, and those values guided me to fight for the values of this region.
Poilievre's predecessor, Damien Kurek, resigned his seat so the federal leader could run after losing his own Ottawa-Carleton riding in April. Being an out-of-towner is something critics and other candidates are pouncing on.
I firmly believe that Mr. Poilievre is too busy with his own personal ambitions to give a rat's backside about us. Anger was also directed at other interests impacting the race, including people from outside the riding. Did you happen to notice how many hands actually went up when I asked how many people in the crowd could vote? Not very many. And a group that's added hundreds of names to the ballot.
They're just trying to steal enough votes through all of them that they can wipe him out.
Some are asking how big of a victory Poilievre needs before his January leadership review.
If he beats me, are we doing this again in February?
Others are questioning the strength of Poilievre's campaign.
His confidence at running in the riding, if he has to bring in supporters, if he has to run in a riding that's the second biggest margin of victory in the country.
Despite the Conservatives' Get Out the Vote campaign, political scientist Laurie Williams says this race will likely be decided by who heads to the polls on the day.
It's a very busy time of year for farmers, ranchers, and those who provide goods and services.
By-election day in Battle River Crowfoot is August 18th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Elections Alberta has issued a former Conservative MLA's petition to prevent Alberta separation. Thomas Lukaszuk, Alberta Forever Canada petition asks, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? Elections Alberta says the petition must get nearly 294,000 eligible signatures by October 28th for the question to be considered in a referendum. Only registered canvassers can collect signatures. Earlier this week, a competing question was sent to a judge to make sure it doesn't violate the Constitution. The proposed question is whether people agree with Alberta becoming a sovereign country and ceasing to be a province in Canada. Elections Alberta says a decision on that application has not been made as it's before the court. Coming up next, one Albertan shares his story about being a child soldier. Also just ahead, Albertans unable to fill prescriptions are left in a painful situation.
If they had known that there was a prescription shortage in that medication, then some people can get by on other pain medications.
Good evening, folks. The heat streak really kicked in today, and it will stick around for the next 3 or so days. 30 degrees for a daytime high in Edmonton today, into the low 30s across the north. We'll be up around 30 or in the low 30s tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday here in Edmonton. Full look at that and the rest of your forecast in just a few minutes.
Health Canada is warning some prescription painkillers may be unavailable because of an ongoing drug shortage. While some people might be able to use alternatives, one Southern Alberta man says this leaves him in a tough position. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson explains.
It's very unbearable. It really is.
A workplace accident in 2020 left Tony Heimbrock with chronic pain.
I fell 14 feet onto the concrete floor.
Since then, the Okotoks man says he's developed chronic migraines and a heart issue. While working, he used 2 to 3 Percocets a day. Now, because of a drug shortage, he says he's holding on to his last 2 pills.
I just sort of keep very low-keyed and try not to do anything and participate in life anymore. And it shouldn't be that way.
It's not just in Alberta. Canada is experiencing a nationwide shortage of both acetaminophen with oxycodone and codeine from manufacturing distribution at Teva Canada Limited. Health Canada says the situation is expected to improve by mid-August, but supply constraints are expected to continue until the end of September.
It's really helpful for us if patients are on these products that they call us before they're completely out of their medication to give us a bit of time to figure it out. They shouldn't panic. There are some alternatives that can be figured out for them.
Unfortunately for Heimbrock, other health issues leave him unable to use most alternatives.
If they had known that there was a prescription shortage in that medication, then some people can get by on other pain medications.
Howden thinks more suppliers and better communication about shortages can help prevent situations like this in the future.
One thing that we are seeing trends in here in Canada over the last decade or more is more single source or only dual source products. And what that means is you get one shortage of one manufacturer and all of a sudden you have no product available.
Tony Heimbrock hopes to get access again soon so he can get back to a more active and pain-free life. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
A think tank focusing on dementia says Canada is falling behind other G7 countries when it comes to supporting people with the disease. A report from the Brainwell Institute says Canada is lagging when it comes to prevention, diagnosis, and end-of-life care for people with dementia. The report found that in 2019, the average wait time from the onset of symptoms to receiving a formal diagnosis is up to 28 months. That's compared to days or weeks for diagnosing diseases like cancer. The Institute says dementia is one of the leading causes of death in Canada and is concerned that with an aging population, the number of Canadians living with dementia could rise from 770,000 to nearly 1 million by 2030. A former child soldier living in Red Deer is sharing his story of survival.
I still dream of the combat and the things I saw.
His experience as a child soldier is still fresh on his mind more than 30 years later. Now he's put his story on paper in a book he wrote about the journey he took from a war-torn country to central Alberta. Dow says living in Red Deer offers easy access to Edmonton and Calgary, something he doesn't take for granted.
So that had been my favorite, actually, to be able to be in the middle of those two big cities and be able to participate with my community like I am close to them. Because I cannot live without community.
His book is available at Audrey's Books in Edmonton, the Red Deer Museum, and on Amazon. Red Deer Polytechnic is hosting a series of summer art workshops. There are 4 week-long sessions available. Participants can stay on campus at the RDP residence. One option is bronze making, where artists can gain hands-on experience pouring bronze into molds. Organizers say they've become one of the leading summer art programs across Canada.
It's a provincial, kind of almost a national profile program, but it does. You know, Red Deer has been traditionally a hub of artistic activity. You know, certainly its history has been very, very supportive to the arts.
The artists showcase their work on Thursday nights and host a silent auction. Proceeds from the auction go towards scholarships for students. Still ahead, a musical display of pride in Canada's police force. The RCMP's musical ride returns to Edmonton as part of a summer tour around the province.
You see how much dedication and hard work goes into it, and it reminds you of like the members that do the same thing every day for us in the RCMP.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 15 degrees this morning, 30 for a daytime high this afternoon. We'll be in the 30 to 32 range for highs tomorrow and again Friday. Even Saturday, we're up in the high 20s, close to 30. Heat warning in effect for all of northern Alberta, from around Edmonton all the way east, down through the Red Deer, Drumheller regions. Daytime highs, 29 or hotter, and morning lows in the mid-teens to upper teens. So you're not even getting any real relief through the overnight periods. We had some thunderstorms that bubbled up through the foothills late this afternoon into the early evening hours. Even just north of Cold Lake, we had a thunderstorm this afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to see the same pattern. Sunny skies across most of the province for the morning hours, and then in the afternoon through the foothills, some showers and thunderstorms starting to bubble up. Those will basically stay in place through the foothills, though. And here in Edmonton, no chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Sunny with a few clouds. Could see a few showers or thunderstorms into the evening hours Thursday in through northwestern Alberta, and then that'll break down into Friday morning. Friday afternoon, again, same spot through the foothills, and then maybe here up around the Fort McMurray region, some late day showers and thunderstorms. Some of these storms, I think, will be able to track northeast into the Swan Hills, Whitecourt, Slave Lake regions. Should all avoid the Edmonton area, though, until potentially late Saturday. Saturday evening looks like a pretty decent chance of seeing some showers, thunderstorms, and then Sunday, scattered showers in the forecast. 14s across the northeast and east central Alberta tomorrow morning. 15 in Grand Prairie, about 14 in Red Deer. We'll drop to around 17 here in the city. There's 34 in high level tomorrow, 32 in Grand Prairie. Low 30s as well across the northeast. In fact, hotter in the north than it will be across the southern half of the province, although it's still hot, near 30 for Red Deer, east central Alberta, and Jasper. Here in Edmonton, record high for tomorrow is 31.3. We'll take a run at that, 30 or 31 for a high tomorrow afternoon, 31 or 32 on Friday. 29 with some late day clouds and a chance of a shower or thunderstorm Saturday evening. Monday looks dry, but Sunday, a chance of scattered showers and temperatures in the low to mid 20s to close the long weekend. That is your forecast.
All right, with those temperatures climbing, the city is preparing to hand out water bottles. The city has activated its extreme weather response. It is meant to keep vulnerable people safe during hot weather. Anyone needing to get out of the heat can go to open city facilities where water bottles will be available. Access to water is also available at 28 water stations across the city.
We work with agency partners and Homeward Trust to ensure that they're spreading the word to clients and people accessing services to know where they can go to get help or water or access resources.
The response is expected to last until Saturday. The city could extend it if high temperatures persist. You can sign up for Edmonton's extreme weather alerts online. The RCMP's musical ride troupe performed in Edmonton tonight. The iconic troupe is traveling across Alberta as part of its summer tour. 32 officers and their horses perform drills to music. Organizers say the officers in red are a classic Canadian symbol.
When you're doing it, just how perfect it is. You see how much dedication and hard work goes into it, and it reminds you of like the members that do the same thing every day for us in the RCMP.
It was a sold-out show at the White Mud Equine Learning Center. The tour will hit nearly 20 locations in Alberta by the end of summer. Now, there may have been a few Boston Bruins jerseys in the stands when the Edmonton Riverhawks hit Remax Field earlier tonight.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try.
With the recent release of Happy Gilmore 2, the Riverhawks hosted an Adam Sandler night. The team also touched on classic Sandler movies like The Waterboy and Billy Madison. Tonight's game included an Adam Sandler lookalike contest.
We enjoy when fans come to the ballpark and kind of participate in our theme, so the classic Adam Sandler, like baggy shorts, big t-shirt, scruffy beard kind of look was what we're aiming for, so we hope we get lots of fans come dressed up.
The Riverhawks also partnered with the U of A's Student Union to organize a game of dodgeball on the field after the game. All right, well, those players probably needed some of Bobby Boucher's water just with how hot it was tonight. That's all the time we have. Thank you for tuning in and have a good rest of your night.